So hello there, welcome to issue 4. This is the right hand, and this is going to look complicated, not because of the actual build, but because of the parts. You'll see what I mean in a second.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
So what we have here is the parts for stage 4. Now, kudos, they haven't dragged the fingers out. I was kind of half expecting each hand to be done over 6 stages. One finger, one finger, one finger, one finger, one finger, and then the hand, and put it all together. But they've done the whole right hand together. Unfortunately, the drawback is that it looks very confusing. So let's go through the parts that we know, and then we'll sort the rest out. So first of all, we have got part 4A, which may not be that. I think it's this part actually. Oh god, that's metal. See, this is the problem we've got. They don't put the part. There we go. This is part 4A. This is the palm. Now, as you can see, there's a magnet in there, but this piece is plastic. This is part 4B, and this is metal. Now this should be marked. No, it's not marked, but that's lovely. That's got a metal piece in it. That's made of metal, as we said, and that leaves us with part 4C, which is the hand guard, and that's got a so magnet in there. Sorry, magnet there, piece of metal in there. That's going to clip in there like that. That's nice. Right. Then we have got the next two pieces, 4D and 4E. These are the wrist joints. So obviously they're going to go together, and there'll be like a ball joint or something in there, I'm guessing. The next pieces I'm going to skip for the moment, and I'm going to go on to, we have a screwdriver. Cute little screwdriver. Why they've given it to us in stage 4, I don't know. This is the second pack. It really would have benefited if they've given it to given this to us in pack 1, but it is what it is. That's quite a nice, and that'll go in my collection anyway. Next we have got some springs. This is 4Y springs, and they look tiny and very easy to lose. Then we have got some RP screws. They look long and thin. And then we have some BM screws. So are these ones going into the fingers? Are these plastic? P for plastic. And then these ones BM, B for M for metal. Sorry, I don't know. We'll find out. Right, so the fingers. There are a lot of pieces of fingers. As you can see, they're labelled 4F to 4H for the thumb, 4I, 4L for the index finger. Then you've got the middle finger, the ring finger, and the little finger. Now the thumb's apparently marked 1, index is marked 2, middle finger 3, ring finger 4, little finger 5. Now I've anticipated a little bit of confusion. So as you can see there in the corner, 2 of them are hidden. I've got 5 trays, and I've labelled them, imaginatively labelled them T1, so that's the thumb, which is the piece is marked 1. I2, which is the index finger, which is the piece is marked 2, and so on and so forth. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to sort these pieces. I did have a little look. This piece, for example, I cannot find a number for them. Some of them have got clear numbers on them. That one's quite obviously a 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these, put them into the trays, and then I'll make each one as per the instructions, and then I'll just transfer this piece of masking tape from there onto the finished finger. Okay guys, see you in a moment. Okay, so that's the pieces sorted. So after a minute or two I found a little system. So all of these little flat pieces have got the number inside there. That's a 2, and this one you can see is a 2. This one has got the number actually on the next to the screw hole, and these ball joints, these were difficult. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try and get a focus. These have got the numbers printed actually on the ball joint, so that does make it easy. Right, so the thumb has 2 joints like that, and all of the fingers have 3, so they'll look something like that. And I think the little finger has 3 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in detail with the thumb, possibly the index finger, but definitely the thumb, and then I'm going to do the rest of them speeded up because I think they're all pretty much the same. So I think the easiest way to do this is start from this end and work up towards the palm. So we need to take, in this particular case, 4H and 4G, and press the 2 pieces of the fingertip. You'll see there's a couple of holes and a couple of pegs, and that's quite difficult to fit together, but that goes together quite nicely. That's okay. Now if you're a bit of a detail phobe, you see there's a little seam line there. I'm not going to worry about it, but if you want to do some further work on that, you can. And then that will slip into, I'm trying to see which way round this goes, because you could put it upside down, couldn't you? Right, so it looks like, right, be a bit careful guys. The piece with the tabs on that goes into the holes, that needs to be on the outside, and then that goes into the joint with the larger hole there, as you can see. And I'm a little bit silly here, I forgot to get my screws and my tell you what, let's put the screws in here, as I've got all the pieces and the springs. So what we need to do here, looks like there's too many springs there, so that could be useful. So we line this hole up properly, we then pop a spring into there. Whoops, see where this is fiddly guys. Make sure that hole's lined up, and I'm holding my finger just right, I believe. And we'll slip that into there. Then we're going to slip a screw into there. And I'll tell you what, as I've got it to hand, I'll use the Robocop screwdriver, simply because I haven't got my screwdriver ready. And that's going in. That's going in. Ooh, that's quite clever. I think that spring is going to make the fingers go back. No, it's not. So, it's plastic. So we want to go no further than when the resistance changes, and I think that spring is going to help hold. It's like a sometimes Oh, that's gone all the way through. Right, so back that off so that the screw isn't fitting proud. There we go. And that is the thumb complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the label on it, and we'll pop that there. And what I'm now going to do then is get on with the other fingers.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Okay, so these are the fingers complete. Very nice, but be very careful, guys, because on one of them I just pulled back the screwdriver a bit early, didn't realise it hadn't made contact with the other end. Because it's spring loaded, it flew off. Thankfully we have one spare screw, and we have one spare, that's not the spring, but anyway, we have a bag. Well, there we go, there's the one spare spring. So we actually had two spare springs, which I am so grateful for. They're very nice, they're very easy to work out because they should only bend one way. As you can see, that one's curved right round, and that's as far as it will go in the opposite direction. If you've got, say, this bit won't go any further than that, but then this one goes all the way round, you know you've got it wrong way round. But I don't think you can do it the wrong way round. So there's my labelled fingers. So the next step is we want to start putting the hand together, and we are going to need piece 4A, which I believe will be the metal piece. We also need these two ball joints. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you and say this doesn't make total sense to me. So we need to put these two joints in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, we've got two joints that look the same. One's got bigger holes than the other. The one with the bigger holes, you see you've got 4 pegs there. On the peg closer to the wrist, we pop that into there like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place this piece on top, and we're going to screw that down with 2 BM screws, which are metal screws. Now you might begin to see why I'm a little bit confused. Okay, I'm just going to pop these 2 in until they're just enough to bite, then we know the piece is in and that it fits. So we have what is obviously a ball joint there. Now if we screw that down, we can't get whatever in there, can we? It's obviously going to be a wrist joint on there, but how are we going to get that in? It says this assembly is part of the wrist joint. I mean, I'm going to follow the instructions. Maybe they've got some strange plan for us. Maybe the joint that we end up with will push in there, but once it's in it won't come out again. But that doesn't make sense to me. However, let's be fair. How many times have I said that doesn't make sense? And then 20 or 30 issues later I'm like, oh, that's really clever. Right, so next we need to start popping the fingers on. So starting with the index finger, that goes in like that, and I think we're going to have to place this down on a surface. I wish I'd put these labels different. Right, so what we're going to need to do, because this is going to be the palm, which is this part, these joints are going to have to go in kind of upside down, if that makes sense. It shouldn't matter because they're going to be able to rotate, but we want them to be able to go twist towards the palm. So that goes into there like that. Then no, hang on. Right. So the thumb goes there. Then number 2, which is the index finger, goes there. Then our middle finger goes there. Then our ring finger goes there. Lastly, our little finger. So this is a right hand. That looks right to me. So then we need piece 4B, which is this plastic piece. Make sure that's the correct way round. Make sure everything lines up properly. So as we push this in, see, I've not lined it up properly and the fingers have all fallen out. So I think that's the middle finger, and that's the ring finger, and then that's the index finger. What we're going to do is we'll give this a final check before we pop any screws in, and we'll just ask that question, does it look right? So I'm going to suggest that we place this on focusing on the fingers. Right, it is loose, but I suggest it's loose because the screws aren't in yet. Right, so that is in. You can wave at the moment. Right, so taking you need to put 2 BM screws in there, and we've got 3. So what I want to do now is just pop. I can see that's not located properly. There's a line there, so I need to carefully slide that. I knew that was going to happen. I can't think of the best way to do this, guys. I cannot think of the best way. Let's get our screwdriver ready. This might be the most fiddliest part I have ever done. Still, look on the bright side. Do we perhaps have that issue on issue 4? Was it issue 5? 4. Right. To be honest with you, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but your ring and your middle finger is pretty much the same size anyway. Then your index finger is the next largest. Then your thumb is obviously short and stubby. Right. Try again. However I do this, I can't get it in. Do you know, I think that is actually right. I think I actually had that right. I think that little lip is meant to be there. Right, so let's see if we can. Oh, there you go. That's actually quite easy. If you hold it, you can kind of push the fingers back in, and then they all fall out again. So ask yourself the question, do they look right? I think they look okay. So let's get that first damn screw in. Right. And then we'll get the second screw in. Yeah, I now think that lip is meant to be there. Right, so they're not fully in yet, but they're in enough to just make bits so that we can just check these. We've got movement on all the fingers. Lovely. So what I'll do now, screw these in as much. Some people use oil. I don't think it really needs it on these parts. Right, there we go. So these hold this shape a little bit better now that I've tightened them up. and that is actually upside down. So there we go. So we have, that's the wrong way round as well. There you go, some kind of holding a pistol kind of a pose there. Right, so that's that bit done. The last bit is we take this part 4C, whoops, wrong way round, and that just goes on there like that with a magnet, and that's essentially just to cover the screws up. So there we go. Whew, that was a tough one, guys. So that is the right hand done. I am a little bit worried about that. There's going to be some, you can see that there's going to be some kind of wrist ball joint go in there. How we're going to get that in, I don't know. We may well have to loosen these two screws a little bit. I don't know. I really don't know. But look, guys, that's to say that's part 4 done. So what I'll do is I'll try and get that back in the plastic with parts 3, and that is the end of the video. So let me just do a bit of a debrief. So really tough issue, actually. If you like really technical work, that is your issue. I'd like to think that that is the issue, that issue as we refer to it. There will be a left hand at some point, isn't there? There should be. I'd hope so. So obviously we've got all that again to come. But lovely, really lovely issue. So I'm going to end it there, guys. We're going to move on to issue 5 next week, which I can give you a slight spoiler. We are going to do the right elbow joint part 1. I'll see you hopefully in the next issue. Take care, bye bye.